having a rifle that you like and that you're familiar with is really important when you're getting ready to go on a hunt. I think that goes without saying, but a lot of guys will buy a new rifle right before they go on a trip, and that's probably one of the worst things you can do. Having a gun that you're familiar with is important. I'm not a gun guru. I'm not going to advise you on what kind of gun to get. I'm just going to give you an example here of a lightweight rifle that will certainly do the trick. This is a Tikka 7 mag that I've hunted with quite a bit. With a pretty simple loopholed VXR scope. Does have the red dot. I like that. Got the Winplex reticles. Got a simple dial on top, so I can dial for distance, which a lot of us like to be able to do. But the most important thing is having a gun and a suitable caliber for the hunt you're going on, and having it ahead of time so you've had time to shoot it at the range, and not just from the bench, but also from shooting sticks. So we get into more of a hunting scenario that's going to mimic what we're doing in Africa. We want to have shooting sticks. You want to have your own shooting sticks. There's several different kinds. Your outfitter's going to have different kinds. You might ask him which kind he prefers. You can take your own shooting sticks with you. It's no problem. You've got a big gun case. You've got room for these. And spending time on the sticks is something that we really want to do ahead of time. It doesn't matter if it's a year ahead of time or 2 years ahead of time. Getting familiar with the hunting scenario that you're going to be faced with is part of your prep. So we're talking about 3 things that's never too early to start planning for your next safari. We've talked about the rifle, getting a rifle that you like, getting comfortable with it, getting the ammo that you want to use, get all that stuff dialed in ahead of time is really important. The next thing is having 2 pairs of broken-in boots that are very comfortable. And so you're going to want to match the boots to the terrain you're hunting in, and so that's another part of communicating with your outfitter. Do you need really heavy boots like the Kenetrek Extremes that are for real mountain climbing, or are you going to be in more of just hills and flatlands, and some of these lighter weight hiking boots like these Lowas are going to be the choice for you. There's a lot obviously on the market. Another thing you don't want to forget about boots is insoles. There's insoles of all kinds on the market. There's one that I'm using. There's an online resource called the insolestore.com that has a lot of different insoles. Having the right insoles for your boots may be the difference between what you think is a poor fitting boot and one that actually fits great and is very comfortable. So match those things to the terrain you're hunting in. I also like to hunt in Russell moccasins. These I had made out of some hippo leather, and they're really comfortable. Obviously they're not insulated. They're not for very cold weather. Some of these that might be a little bit warmer with the right kind of socks may be better, but you're going to want to match your boots to where you're going. But the most important thing is to have 2 pairs that you've broken in. That's another thing, just like we talked about with the rifle. You don't want to go buy a pair of boots the week before you leave to go on a trip where you're going to be climbing hills for 10 days. So get that done ahead of time. You may wind up with some you don't like and want to change them out, and so doing that far in advance is going to pay you big dividends when you're on your feet all day. The third thing that I think you could never do too early in planning for your next safari is having your passport. At this current time, and actually for the last several years, it's been pretty slow in the passport office. You know, the government's never quick at doing anything, and so getting your passport application done and getting that in your hands is really important. You're going to want to have that ahead of time as you plan for your safari. There's a lot of things we do in planning for a safari. That's why I'm doing these videos, to try to share some of that with you, and mostly to stimulate some thought and give you something to think about. But the 3 things you can never do too early in planning for your next safari is your gun, your boots, and your passport.